Okay, so here's the warm-up for today. We are going to pause for about 5 minutes for you to write these problems down and determine if they are true or false. Okay, so for number 11, when we have the bases that are the same with subtraction, we can divide the argument, so that is true. Let's see if it works the same for 12. Yep, that one is also true. Now 13 is false because you don't divide the logs, you just divide the arguments. For 14, this coefficient can become that exponent, so this one is true. Okay, so this 2 can come up and we can make it log of x squared plus log of 5, but we're not going to add in the argument. Those would be multiplied, so this is false. This 1/2 can become that exponent, and the 1/2 exponent is the square root, so that's true. And there's no property that when you subtract arguments, you can divide logs, so that is false. Okay, so the first page of our notes today, we are going to talk about one additional property of logarithms. So we're going to pause the video here, and I want you to write down this whole box. And what this is describing is the change of base formula. And the way the change of base formula works is we can take log of any base of the argument and write it as a log base 10 or a ln. So this base becomes the denominator, and whatever the argument was is in the numerator. So we're going to do 3 examples here. We have log base 3 of 25. I can either change that to log base 10 or ln. It's a personal preference. You get to pick. So the way it works is I'm going to have a log base 10 divided by log base 10. The base goes in the denominator, and the argument is in the numerator. It would also be correct to make it ln of 25 over ln of 3. All right, let's try B. Write down log base 2 of 15. And then you get to pick your preference. If you want to change it to a log base 10 or an ln. This one I'll start with ln. So it'd be ln of the argument over ln of the base. It's also correct if you chose log, it'd be log of 15 over log of 2. All right, last but not least, we have log base 4 of 7. That would be log of 7 divided by log of 4, or you could say ln of 7 divided by ln of 4. So that change of base goes along with the 3 rules we've already discussed. So we're going to write out the 3 rules again. We've got the product rule, the quotient rule, and the power rule. We'll pause the video here to give you a moment to write the start of the rules down. Okay, so when the argument is multiplied, we can expand that by adding 2 log expressions. When the argument's divided, we can expand that by subtracting where the denominator is what's after the subtraction. And when you have the power, that can become the coefficient of your log expression. So we'll do 2 practice problems with those. Go ahead and write down part D and part E. We're going to pause the video here for you to try them before I go through the work. Okay, so for part D, I'm going to reverse the power rule and bring the 5 up to the exponent and this 5 up to the exponent. But then with that subtraction between the same logs, I can make this one log expression where I divide the arguments. It works the same way for part E. These coefficients will become exponents. And if you don't want to write the 1/2 power, you can write that as the square root of y. So now with adding, I'm going to multiply my arguments. So I'll rewrite that as a square root. Okay, so today is a practice day. I want you to find this homework assignment in the module. I'm going to screenshot for you where that is. So here is the title of this homework assignment. So the rest of our class period is your time to work through this, and make sure to submit that assignment by the due date.